Hello, and welcome to the A's and B's of Horror. I'm your host, Jim, and with me, as always, is
Mark.
How are you today, sir?
I'm gonna have to sit down maybe sometime and just, what can I say? Whenever people ask me that, something funny,
Yeah,
like "fuck off."
there is a little snippet going around on the TikTok, since you
Uh-huh.
probably don't know anything about it.
The old talkers.
Yeah, so it says, what's a bad habit you picked up at work?
Uh-huh.
The response is telling people to fuck off when I really just mean good morning.
Yeah, so you picked that up at work. I would think that's just your general demeanor.
It kind of is. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. Somebody told me today that I came across as a touchy-feely kind of guy.
Is that person mentally not all there, or
No, he's pretty with it.
interesting?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, I don't know where you're getting this from.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a cold bad heart, so I
I know. Exactly.
Okay, and Jim.
Mark. Yes, Mark. That is my name.
So we have another kind of off the cuff episode because we're both too lazy to watch the movies which we promised to watch.
It's not that I'm too lazy; it's I lack the motivation. There's a difference.
Yeah, right.
I did take a chainsaw to a tree in my backyard. I have not been lazy. I've just been unmotivated.
Right. Yeah, because watching a movie is much less difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so before we get into our off the cuff episode, Jim,
Yes.
there is a new trailer out for a certain Hulu movie.
Yes, there is. I did watch it. I actually, just before we started recording, was watching it again.
Okay, so what do you think of the upcoming Hellraiser? So I guess it's supposed to be set in the same universe, so it's not like a remake or anything.
Right. It's just another story in that same universe.
Oh.
I have to say, after getting my first visual, I'm less optimistic than I was originally.
You're more or less, sorry.
Less. Very much less optimistic.
So let's a brief breakdown of Hellraiser. What do you think of the series? Have you watched all the movies?
I have seen. I've missed one or two in the series of the later movies. I loved the first two.
Mm-hmm.
I hated 3, and that's specifically because of the guy that shot the discs out of his face.
Oh, the CD.
Yeah, I did not like that at all. I thought it was utterly ridiculous.
But you like the guy?
I like
close up, Joey.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just saying that was just one of the reasons I did not like the third film. Then I saw, was it Bloodline next?
Bloodline is next, yep.
So I saw that and completely ambivalent. I couldn't care less about anything that ever happened in the movie. Is Hellworld next?
Oh, no. You've got a whole bunch in between that you missed.
Well, yeah, what am I missing? Please, I know you ranked these on Facebook earlier, so read me the list. I'll tell you if I saw them, because I'm not going to lie, I cannot remember half the names of the movies.
Okay, and you can tell me your thoughts on if you've seen them or not, and then I can
of course.
my thoughts. Okay, so obviously Hellraiser, Hellbound.
The first two are amazing films. They're very well done. I love them both.
Hellraiser 3.
Did not like it. Thought it was garbage.
Inferno.
I don't know that I've seen Inferno.
I don't know if this is exactly in order. Hellseeker, I think, was next.
Oh no, that's number 6 or 7. That one I actually liked because the story was kind of weird, but mostly because Ashley Lawrence makes an appearance in it.
Right. I always get these two mixed up in order. So the other one is Deader.
Never saw it.
Then we have Hellworld.
Hellworld I watched once, and I can honestly tell you I remember nothing about it.
Do you remember Superman's in it?
I did not remember that, but I was looking up something else that he had done, and I saw that he was in it.
Yeah, yeah. Then we have Revelations,
Never saw it.
and then we have Judgment.
Straight garbage.
All right, so to me, the Hellraiser series has been pretty much a letdown. You know, I've read some of the comics. There's a huge world out there that they could have went in numerous directions, but and I'll talk through this as I go through my list. So I'll put it in order as far as what I like.
Okay. Well, first I'm gonna tell you I've seen your list, and you're wrong with your first two choices. But proceed.
And this is an interesting point. So my favorite in the series and the one I've watched the most is Hellraiser 2: Hellbound.
And I'm curious as to why. What about that movie is so engaging to you?
So, I mean, if Hellraiser, I would rate Hellraiser like a 9 out of 10 and Hellbound a 10 out of 10.
But I'm asking genuinely why. What is it about that film that is so appealing to you? And I don't mean that as in a judgmental way. I really am curious.
Sure.
Because don't get me wrong, I think it's a great movie. I do not think it surpasses the original.
So the original is great, but the original, I feel, there's a reason why it is. It's a very intimate movie, right? So
yes,
I mean, there's only a couple of settings. There's only a few people in it, and the horror, etc., is very much from the sexual tension and the guy coming back and Frank coming back, etc. But it's all kind of in that attic, and it's all kind of grimy, and that's great. I love that. But
yeah, I thought it was fantastic. And long story short, Uncle Frank, or was it Uncle Frank? Frank.
Mm-hmm.
My first crush. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's not his accent, right?
No, it's not. That's not his voice.
It's dubbed over.
Yes.
It's weird. And we can talk about, it's very interesting, what country is Hellraiser 1 and 2 set in?
I don't know, because you have... So, Kirsty's father has a weird inflection, intonation. I don't know. The way he speaks is just very odd. We know Julia's English, but Kirsty is clearly American.
Right.
So I really don't know, because it's never really, it's just an urban area. I know a lot of his books are normally set like in New York or in very, urban areas, but I don't know where that one is set.
So it's pretty much the first one is supposed to be set in England.
Oh, okay. I was not aware.
And then the second one, they decided, let's kind of move it to the U.S., but it's a continuation right after the first one.
Right, so that makes no sense.
So the guy in it that you're talking about with the weird accent is Andrew Robinson.
He's from the Stepfather film, right? The Stepfather films.
No, that's somebody else. That's
is it
somebody O'Neill?
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Dirty Harry. He was like the Scorpio killer. He was also in, I don't know if you ever watched Star Trek, Deep Space Nine.
No, never.
Okay, he's in that, but he's a phenomenal actor. He's been in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't begrudge him anything. It's just the way he speaks and is a little off-putting to me in that movie, especially when Frank is supposedly wearing his skin. But it's really effective because it's super creepy.
Right. Yeah. Okay. First, so you're asking me about Hellbound.
Yeah.
Why I like it more is, and I'm almost surprised you don't like it more, because I know you're a big fantasy fan. Is it does what a sequel needs to do. It expands the mythology. It doesn't retread old ground. Has some recurring characters in it, and it just really the imagination behind it just blew me away. The whole labyrinth, the whole setup with Channard. I love Channard as a character. There's just so much going. There's like no downtime in it. It's just like go. What's his face from Aliens is in it, getting killed again. Gorman.
Yeah.
but I think it's visually great looking. It's one of those things. Like I sat down one day, and I don't know if you saw the post. It's like a lot of my favorite movies are sequels. Weirdly enough.
Well, I mean, because I think it sounds like to me that you put a lot of stock in them building upon the first and not retreading the first.
Right.
So that would increase your appreciation of it. So I can understand that point.
Although I will say, for not retreading the first, they have flashbacks of the first twice in it. The same flashbacks. They have it at the start and then halfway through, which is strange. But yeah, I absolutely love Hellbound. I think it's by far, well, not by far, like, because Hellraiser is a classic too. So just going through it, my next favorite is Bloodlines.
Okay.
So actually, so this is also written by Peter Atkins, who kind of done some of the screenwriting for the first two, working with Clive Barker.
Right.
And he released the screenplay recently as a book, and I got that, and that was very good. The problem with Bloodlines is way too much studio interference by the fucking Weinsteins.
You don't say.
Yeah. So what happened is that they took a really great story, they chopped it up, and that's why it's an Alan Smithy film, right?
Right.
Brian Yeager who actually directed it? But what I really like about it is, if you ignore some of the cheapness of it, it's a really interesting story. And after the main Cenobites, right? Pinhead, etc. My two favorite other Cenobites are Channard and Angelique. I would love to see a standalone Angelique movie. Okay, so Bloodline is kind of it's like an interesting failure. That's how I kind of look at it. My next one is Hellraiser 3. So it's like there's stuff that I really like about this, and there's stuff that I don't. This is, to me, Hellraiser gone Hollywood, where they really amped up Pinhead to kind of be like a Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
It's really flashy. It's kind of slick looking. So it's a real departure from the first two. I do, saying Pinhead's got more lines and they're cheesy, but, I do love more Doug Bradley, who's fantastic.
Of course.
But there's just something about it which is just kind of annoying. But like I say, there's some stuff I like about it. So it kind of tells you the rest of the series, because this one's ranked so high.
My biggest problem with the third one, I think, was the Cenobites, the invented Cenobites. They didn't feel at all organic the way Channard did.
Right. Yeah.
And it just, a lot of it felt forced.
Funny story about Hellraiser 3. Again, this was written by Peter Atkins, but I think there was no involvement from Barker or anything. So they wanted to keep him on as basically to oversee how the script was being filmed, but they couldn't pay him for that role. So they said, "Hey, we'll give you like a bit part, actor part, and then we'll pay you for that, and then you could just hang around the set." So he actually plays the bartender that turns into Barbie, the one that starts throwing the Molotov cocktails.
Oh.
Yep. He's a real nice guy. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Okay, next one is Inferno. I think Inferno would be a lot more popular, kind of like Halloween 3, if it didn't have the Hellraiser label and Pinhead.
Inferno is the one that had some cut scenes to space, right?
No, that's Bloodline.
Oh, okay. Okay, then I don't know that I've seen Inferno then.
Inferno, starring, what's his name? Craig. He's also the star of Nightbreed. Craig Schaefer.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, no, I have not seen that one.
So this one is actually a really effective, like horror noir. And this was the start of the next few ones, which were basically original scripts, but then they shoehorned Pinhead into it and slapped the Hellraiser label on it so that they could keep the rights.
Right. And Bloodline was the official end, if I'm not mistaken, of all Clive Barker involvement.
I believe so. And it was the last theatrical release one.
Right. I believe after Bloodline, he was not attached as a producer or anything. He just got, credit for originating the characters or something. Yeah.
But Inferno is really, really good. I really like it. It's directed by Scott Derrickson, who you might know from like Sinister. He also did the first Doctor Strange movie, and he also did Black Phone recently.
Okay.
But yeah, Inferno, definitely check it out. I think it's really, really underrated. Next up is Deader, which again, like Inferno, this is a really great, interesting script with Pinhead, shoehorned in. It's Carrie Wurr in it. I don't know if I said her last name right. But
yeah, I do generally like her, but I refused to watch that one.
No, give it a try. It's like a cult. It's like a cult movie, and it's like the cult, the Deaders, who are kind of cult members who worship kind of like the Lament configuration box and stuff. But again, you can just ignore the Hellraiser parts and just enjoy it for what it is or what it was supposed to be.
Kari Wurr, for me, after she came off of MTV, topped out. I absolutely loved her in Thinner. And that is pretty much the end of her career that I followed.
I have seen her in a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, she's been in stuff like she was in one of the Prophecy sequels. Yeah. She was, but I think for me, her performances topped out in Thinner. I think she was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, I have not seen that movie in forever, and all I remember is a really bad fat suit.
She was the gypsy. She was the gypsy.
Oh, really? Okay. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up is Hellseeker, which I have not seen this in forever either. But what I
enjoyed it.
What I will say is they ruined Ashley Lawrence's character in it.
I disagree. So I absolutely 100% disagree with you. I had the exact opposite reaction.
So picture this: Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6. Nazi works with Freddy.
I do not find that to be the same.
Yep.
I think so. This is the way that I took it, right? So it's sort of a whodunit through most of the movie.
Right.
You're trying to figure out what exactly is going on with Dean Winter's character. Like he feels like he's really just cracking up through the whole movie. Mm-hmm. Has no idea what's going on. Then comes the twist. Kirsty is dating him and found out he was cheating with all of these different women and serves him and the women up to Pinhead so that she doesn't have to go be taken.
That is to me the Kirsty would never do that. The Kirsty on the first, like no way. That's like
I agree.
He's cheating on her, so then he offers him up to Freddy. You think that's in her character?
I don't disagree with you that Kirsty from the first movie wouldn't do that,
or the second,
because it was a continuation. However, there's like 20 years between those movies. So what happened in those 20 years? You don't know what kind of person she's turned into.
Nah.
She stayed exactly the same as she did before.
Here's what I think. It would have been a much more interesting movie if it wasn't Kirsty, but I understand that they probably wanted to get her back in because that would be the draw.
I personally enjoyed the storyline, and I liked what they did with Kirsty, personally.
Next up, and some people might be surprised that it's not at the very bottom, but Revelations.
Never saw it.
So Revelations is kind of like a shot on video, real low budget. And again, it was just shot in like 30 days or something to keep the rights. And this is where they had the
new Pinhead.
Yeah. And, people give that guy a lot of shit, but you know what are you going to do? I mean, it's a job.
It's no disrespect to the actor. He's the person they tried to have him replace is too iconic. They should have come up with something else.
Right. Or paid.
Doug Bradley.
Doug Bradley what he wanted.
Right.
But
Because
but
let's be honest, he is the almost the entire Hellraiser series. He's the draw.
yeah, which is weird because he initially was going to play the furniture mover guy in the first, right?
Right.
But at least this one, compared to the last few, even though I've liked a couple of the last few of them, this one kind of felt more hell. It was written as a Hellraiser. It wasn't like some other script co-opted. So yeah, I'll give it points for that. But basically, it's terrible. Next up is Hellworld, which is just boring as fuck. I mean, Lance Henriksen is just wasted in this movie. It makes no sense. It's got those early 2000s or late 90s. I don't even remember.
It's the big cyberspace thing.
Right.
We're trying to introduce technology, and it was a giant heaping pile of shit.
Yeah. Oh, also, I just want to bring up, starting from Inferno, what I hate with the Pinhead character is that they suddenly made him some sort of moral judge.
Right.
No, Pinhead should be amoral to me. Like, he's not saying, "Oh, you cheated on your wife or whatever, so you deserve this." Like, fuck off. You're Pinhead. So Hellworld is just a boring mess, and then Judgment is just bottom of the barrel garbage. I did like the auditor character played by what's his name, but the whole movie, it makes no sense, and it's even more boring than Hellworld. And it's just garbage.
Agreed. It is straight garbage, with the exception of the landlady.
Oh, it's Ashley Long. Or no, it's Nancy, right?
Yes, it is. It's Heather Langenkamp.
I would go, but I watched it and I think I remembered that she was in it, but I just didn't pay attention. But I never want to go back and revisit it, so I don't really care.
I mentioned it to her when I saw her at Spooky last.
Oh, really?
I said, I read an article online that you were going to be in the new Hellraiser, and I'm very excited about that. I said it may actually make me watch the movie, and she's like, "Well, hopefully you don't recognize me because I sort of let myself go for this character." I'm like, "Oh, I don't care. I just want to see you on film again."
Right. So my thoughts about the trailer. So I've kind of got like the reverse of what you had, because I initially just watched it on my phone, and I'm like, my initial takeaways were, oh god, it's like some early 20s WB type, kids in peril, and they're probably annoying. I rewatched it actually on the big screen, and I'm like, oh, actually, this is very much like Hellraiser 2.
I hope it is. However, I will say I don't like the few shots we got of the mask, the Cenobite they're calling the mask. I did not like it. It did look very fake. I'm hoping that I don't feel that way once we get to see him in all of his glory, or her in all of their glory.
Yeah, I was not impressed with the Cenobites.
I did appreciate the new Hell Priest or Priestess, whatever they're calling the female version of Pinhead. That
right.
I did visually, and even the voice I really appreciated.
Yeah, I feel like I'll need to hear more of it because I'm just so used to Doug Bradley.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I do. As far as a brand new character goes, I do like the direction they're taking, so I'm hoping that it plays out well in the movie.
I didn't realize that was a trans actor either.
Somebody told me that, and I looked it up. I didn't realize that the actress that's playing the new Pinhead character is a trans actress, and I did not realize that either.
Yeah, so, I only realized that because I read like an interview with Doug Bradley talking about her. So, but it's just interesting. It doesn't.
I think you're the one that mentioned it to me after you read it, so then I looked it up, if I'm not mistaken.
I am the oracle of all information.
Indeed you are. We pray at your feet every night, sir.
So yeah, I am expecting the worst but hoping for the best.
Yeah, I honestly, I was excited about it. I was excited to hear that a new movie was being made and that Clive Barker was going to be attached to it, even though he's in a producer role again, I believe.
Yeah.
I have to agree. It looked like a WB version of Hellraiser. Like I'm watching a PG-13 Hellraiser movie, which is going to be garbage. Although
you remind me of Hellworld, because that was full of those types.
Right, but I will say the guy that they make appear to be the bad guy in the trailer. Goran
Yeah, the Jannar character.
Yeah, essentially, right. Where the kid asks him, "Do I win a prize if I solve it?" And he says, "Well, I do."
Yeah.
I like that actor. I know his first name is Goran. I can't remember his last name. It's either Vinzik or Vinjik or something like that. But I really like that actor. So I'm hoping that all of these pieces that I like coalesce, and I enjoy the film.
And I do like what they're doing with the box.
It looks interesting. It could be very interesting. Yes, I agree. Because he mentioned something about there being 6 different configurations.
Right. And if you you can pause on it in the book, and it says the different things. It's like one is knowledge, one is lust, one is whatever. So that might be interesting.
Yeah, it could be.
Configurations. Maybe they'll get up to the 9th configuration.
Oh, God. I did watch that movie because of that group. I'm just saying.
I love that movie.
A very what the fuck movie for me.
It's very eclectic.
Yes.
Anyway, so we are going to do another list of movies because that's what all the cool kids want. So I have a list of top quote-unquote creature features.
Woohoo! Something new.
I have one question for you before we start because there's a list of 50, but we'll probably just go through them pretty quick. So whenever it comes to creature features, what do you prefer? Do you prefer like large normal animals or normal animals that have mutated, or do you like completely new creatures?
Both. For me, creature features really depend on the story. My appreciation for a good creature feature film really depends on the story, how the thing came to be or where it's from. Like, it has to be plausibility is big for me when it comes to a creature feature. Like, so
I kind of feel you have to,
Well, yeah, you have to suspend some sort of disbelief, but there's always an explanation, and I have to at least buy into the explanation, which again goes back to, if the story's good, I will buy into your explanation. If it's not good, fuck it, I don't care.
Right. To me, and I probably mentioned this before, as not even getting onto that question, but I virtually always root for the creature, no matter what.
Oh yeah, 9 times out of 10, yes, absolutely.
Fuck the people. The creature is just trying to be a creature. Let it live.
Although, okay, so I don't know if this is going to be on the list, but there was a movie with Talia Shire, and there was some. You don't know who Talia Shire is?
Nope.
That's Adrian from Rocky.
Adrian. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So she's also, I think she's Martin Scorsese's or Francis Ford Coppola's
wife,
niece or something.
Oh.
But anyway, so she's in this movie, and there is a mutant bear.
So I will stop you there because at number 50 in the list is 1979's Prophecy. Is up
there? You go.
So
that would be it.
You've seen Prophecy?
I have. There's a scene where they're walking through like a swamp of some sort, and there's this mutant bear, and they have a dead baby that they're carrying.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, I wanted to cry because one of the characters explains she just wants her dead baby. She just wants the baby back, and it hurt. Like, I felt it in my soul.
Right, and that's like Orca, which I don't want to watch ever again.
Yeah. Oh my God, that movie is awful.
No, the movie's really good, but I don't like the dead baby Orca.
That's what I mean. That part of it is awful for me. It's gut wrenching.
So I watched Prophecy probably 10 years ago, and I'm due a revisit. I think it's a very good movie. It's got one of the most understated, underplayed, horrific scenes in any movie.
Refresh my memory, because I have not seen this movie since the first time I saw that. But that scene in the swamp has stuck with me because for many years I didn't know what movie it was.
So this is, I think Armand Assante is in this as a Native American. So this is all about pollution, right? And the pollution mutating. So the main character, he's down there investigating it, and he finds out that him and his wife have been living in off this lake and drinking the water and stuff. That there's something whatever in the water is mutating, the offspring. And there's just this scene where, basically he's discovered that his wife's pregnant, and he knows that they're going to have like a mutant baby. But it's very underplayed. He's not hysterical. He's just like, oh shit. Anyway, it's got a big bear, and is this the one where it gets a sleeping bag and whacks him off a tree like Jason? Or
I don't remember
something. Yeah,
I don't remember.
Okay, so that was good. 1955's It Came From Beneath the Sea is number 49.
Have not seen it.
This one is basically a giant octopus movie, but it's best known because it's Ray Harryhausen doing it. I have not seen this since I was a kid.
Okay.
Number 48 is Frank Henenlotter, All Hell Henenlotter's 1982 classic Basket Case.
Is that really a creature feature?
Well, Belial is a creature.
Is it?
Yeah. It's not a regular person.
No, it's like a parasitic twin or something.
Right, it's a mutated parasitic twin.
I wouldn't. I don't know that.
Mutated bear.
I would almost call it a body horror. I wouldn't call it a creature feature. But anyway, yes, I've seen the movie, and I don't remember much of it because I've only seen it once or twice in my lifetime.
Yeah, it gets a lot of talk about Henenlotter, and a lot of people say it's his favorite. It's not my favorite. My favorite is Basket Case, and then my next favorite is Frankenhooker.
I did enjoy Frankenhooker.
Third one is Bad Biology.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, that Henenlotter didn't make horror movies for decades, and then he came back and made that, and he did not lose his wackiness. Okay, number 47 is a movie which I've seen, but it's pretty forgettable because I don't remember much about it, and it's the 2020 movie Sputnik.
Never seen it.
Okay, we can move on because I don't remember hating it. I remember enjoying it well enough, but it's just not remember. It didn't stick in my head.
Right.
Number 46 is 2010's Troll Hunter.
Troll Hunter, I loved. I thought that movie was so well done.
Yeah, I think they're remaking it. I think they're doing an American remake.
I will not watch it.
Even if Heather Langenkamp's in it?
She won't be in it. She's got a Netflix series coming out.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Yes, I think Troll Hunter is a really, really good movie. Found footage isn't for everyone. But
it's definitely not for me. The other thing is I generally don't watch foreign films. And I did watch this one with subtitles, and it was still good enough to keep my attention.
Of course you don't watch foreign films. You're a gin.
I watched High Tension. What are you saying to me?
You've watched 3 foreign movies in your life.
I've also seen The Devil's Orphanage.
Devil's Orphanage? You mean The Orphanage?
Yeah. No, The Devil's Backbone. The Devil's Backbone. Sorry, I'm getting 2 movies.
Have you seen
I
The
didn't.
Orphanage?
I have not watched The Orphanage. No.
The Orphanage is fantastic.
I've heard that. I just haven't had a chance to watch it because it constantly slips my mind.
Okay, so we better stay on track here.
Yes.
Number 45 is the 1956 Toho classic Rodan.
I have not. My mother's gonna hate me for this, but I have not seen it.
Are you not big into the whole Toho Godzilla MonsterVerse?
Not the 50s version. No.
Oh.
My mother was. My mother loves those films, but I was just never really that into it.
I have seen Rodan, but again, it was so long ago, I don't remember. But I do like Godzilla movies in general. Okay, number 44 from 1954, and whose star has been to Spooky Empire a number of years in a row, is A Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, yes. I have seen the film, but it's been many years.
Yeah, I mean this very much is a classic from that era, I think, and it's well deserved. And
Agreed.
what is his name that played the creature that went to spooky?
I
He
don't
was there
remember.
a long time, and it's amazing because this was in 1954. It's like Todd Rico Browning.
So yeah, it's Riku, Ricou Browning.
Yeah, it's
But
amazing.
so he was the gill man in water. Ben Chapman was the gill man on land.
Right. So he had the more difficult job.
Right.
Yeah, and some of the underwater photography is great for that time too. Okay, number 43. We've probably talked about this. Is the Frank Darabont, Stephen King, The Mist.
The Mist is a movie I love to hate.
I love The Mist.
So
I love
well,
everything about it.
I think it's a great film. However, the end makes me so angry.
I love the ending.
It's a giant gut punch, and
Yep.
it makes me hate everything about the movie. But the movie is super well done, and it does everything it's supposed to do. But it gets me so emotional.
I love that ending. I love anti-Hollywood ending in movies.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not well done. It does everything it's supposed to do. It hits all the right notes, and that's why I love to hate it.
Yeah, I just love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I mean, I would really, really still love it, even if it didn't have that ending. But that was just the cherry on top of the cake for me.
Did you watch the series that they made?
I did not.
Okay, me either.
In number 42, and something which I will talk about later, a little in what we've watched, is A Quiet Place.
I liked the first movie. The second movie was mediocre, but the first movie was really good. I really enjoyed it.
So here's my it's got the elements to something which I should like, but I just can't suspend my disbelief with the high concept.
What is it about the concept that you can't that makes it so unattainable for you?
Because there's lots of noise in nature.
Mm-hmm.
So they should be able to sit there in their house and talk to each other. Those monsters should be running all over the place, chasing birds and squirrels and rats and everything else that makes a noise, and branches falling. And I mean, if that's the only thing that they use, they should all be running into the ocean and whatever. But
Okay, I mean that's a valid point. I guess maybe I just didn't put in as much thought into it as you did, and I just sort of enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, and it just from the start, like that got in my head, and then I couldn't get it out of my head, and then I'm like, I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
And there's plenty of movies where I suspend my disbelief for way crazier shit, but this one, I just for whatever reason, I just went.
So what you're saying here, Mark, what I'm understanding, if I'm understanding your point, is A Quiet Place is your hairy knuckle?
Yeah, I mean, I really, really did not like John Krasinski's hair in this one. 0 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough.
And yeah. And have we ever talked about actors whose faces you hate? I hate his face. He's a good actor, but it just annoys me.
We're exactly the opposite because I love John Krasinski. Love him to death. I think he's a great actor.
He's a great actor. I'm not saying that. It's just that it's not like he's ugly or anything. It's just some people's faces they just annoy you.
Yeah, like Sherry Moon. Yes, I get it.
Wow, shots fired.
I don't mean to be rude, but I really detest Sherry Moon as an actress. I think she ruins everything she's in.
And so the other thing, like I really like Emily Blunt too. So
I think part of what sold it for me is the fact that you can tell a lot of the characters because John Krasinski wrote the film.
Right. And husband and wife thing.
Right. And they are husband and wife. So you could a lot of that relationship really transferred well, I thought.
Right. So maybe it's a combination of his annoying face and I really like her and they're married too. I don't know.
Maybe you're a little jealous. Is that what it is?
I have no idea. Dr. Jim, we can talk about this later.
We can. Welcome to Mark's therapy session, ladies and gentlemen.
No, we'll be here all day. Number 41 is a movie which I haven't seen, just because I've heard that there's not much action in it, and for whatever reason, I'm just like, I don't want to watch it. It's the 2010 Gareth Edwards movie Monsters.
I'm sorry, it's what?
The 2010 Gareth Edwards movie Monsters.
I've never even heard of that, but okay.
Yeah, it's one that got a lot of buzz about it, and it's more like, I think these two people are having to travel from the U.S. to Mexico or vice versa, but avoid like a zone with all these monsters. And I don't know. I don't watch it. Okay, so we can move past that one. Number 40 is a movie which I started, but I have to finish it at some point in life. It is Attack the Block.
I've not seen it. It was on my radar for a while, but then it just sort of fell off.
Yeah, I started it one day and I just didn't finish it. So, okay, another oldie here, 1957's 20 Million Miles to Earth.
Never seen it.
And again, you'll find a lot of these movies. It's Ray Harryhausen's done the effects. I have seen this one, but again, so long. Oh, Larry Cohen's classic with Michael Moriarty in it. Is 1982's Q, The Winged Serpent.
So I remember starting this film, but I don't think I ever got to finish it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I particularly like Michael Moriarty and everything.
Oh, I do too.
So it's, and I like Larry Cohen stuff. He's just there. What's the name? There's a documentary called King Cohen. You should watch it if you haven't seen it. It's amazing.
Okay.
Because it's really about, like, he did a lot of guerrilla film work. So, it's like no permits, no nothing. Let's just get the camera on the street. Let's like do a crazy stunt and then run away.
Okay.
It's fantastic. So King Cohen, yes, watch that. 37 is 1986 Little Shop of Horrors, which we talked about, I think, last week.
I love. I love the musical. I think it's a fun musical. I think it's well produced. It's like watching a Broadway production, in my opinion. I thought it was really well done.
Yep, I think it's a lot of fun. Again, so we're 2 in a row with things we talked about last week. Is 1988's The Blob.
And I remember seeing this, but I honestly can't tell you anything about it other than I know Kevin Dillon's in it.
Right, and Shawnee Smith.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You should rewatch that.
I really need to, and I keep meaning to. I never get back to it, unfortunately.
35 is the 1941 Lon Chaney Jr. classic, The Wolfman.
How could you not like The Wolfman?
So you like The Wolfman?
I do. I am a sucker for classic monster movies. Like old black and white, Bela Lugosi's Dracula, Lon Chaney.
I am shocked, Jim.
Why?
Because I feel like that would be kind of out of your realm.
Why?
Because you don't like foreign movies, so I thought older movies you would not like either.
I did not say I do not like foreign films. I just said I tend not to watch them.
Yeah, same thing.
No, not at all.
Come on now.
Not at all.
If you like foreign movies, you'd watch them.
I have given you specific examples of foreign movies that I like. What is the problem?
Yeah, the 3 of them.
Yes.
There's a lot more than that out there.
Well, I need to start classifying foreign films like you do, and everything that's got an Italian director, I can classify as a foreign film, but I don't do that. I classify a foreign film as being in a foreign language.
Okay. I was going to make a joke there. Okay, so The Wolfman, I mean, there's so much like Chaney's acting is great in it. I mean, the
Yeah.
downside to me is that the Wolfman just strangles people.
Well,
Like, come on, start wolfing, Mr. Wolfman.
well, how many wolves do you know that don't strangle people?
All of them.
What if the bites are not the problem? What if it's that they really asphyxiate?
He should be called the Choke Man, man, not the Wolfman.
Well, but then you wouldn't be able to account for the hair on his body.
Like the amount of hair on his knuckles, just 0 out of 10 for me.
Okay, well, that's fair. What about the Mummy? Did you enjoy the Mummy
Which one?
with Lon Chaney?
Okay, I actually got a really cool Halloween head of the Mummy, and it's like, oh, Aaron Ra, blah blah blah. It's really cool. I have not seen that Mummy in so long. I need to rewatch it.
Okay, that's fair.
And it may turn up in this list. I have no idea. I've not looked down this list yet. Okay, number 34 is obviously a foreign movie because it's directed by Guillermo del Toro. It's 2013's Pacific Rim.
Never seen it.
Okay, so again, it's like
It's a kaiju movie, right?
it's like a Toho kaiju movie where it's like Jaguar versus Godzilla or whatever. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I do enjoy kaiju movies more so now than I did probably 10, 15 years ago. So I'll probably give it a go at some point.
So, yeah, it's worth it. I have not seen the sequel, so okay.
You and half the country.
So 2008, and you'll probably remember, like, they marketed this like very, very well. It is Matt Reeves' Cloverfield.
I love both of the Cloverfield movies.
Well, there's more than 2, right? Because they have like spin-off ones.
No, it's just Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane.
No, there's that other one that was dropped on Netflix. It wasn't called Cloverfield.
Oh God, that doesn't count. That takes place in
the
space, for Christ's sake.
Universe.
Bullshit.
No, it does, because there's a part at the end where it directly links it into Cloverfield.
Yeah, I don't count the Netflix drop. That movie was straight garbage.
No, I actually like that. I like that one more than I thought I would.
Well, you're wrong. Next.
Well, you're wrong.
No.
You're wrong.
It's already been established I'm never wrong. So next.
Okay, in opposite world. Okay. For me, Cloverfield, I fast forward the start of it because I cannot stand like the party scene and all these scenes at the start. It just annoys the fuck out of me. So I just like fast forward past that, and then I get to the good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoy even the humanity of like the interpersonal relationships that they start building before they go into the whole monster thing. I really enjoyed.
No, I cannot stand these people. And I'm
whatever.
Most of them die.
You're entitled to be wrong.
I just find that whole party part, that whole party part, Jim, just like boring as fuck. I'm like,
I really appreciate interpersonal relationships building tension. So I really enjoyed it.
Nah, I couldn't care less. Anyway, next one is, I'm sure it's a favorite of yours, Tim. Let's see if you can guess what movie I'm going to talk about with 2 words. Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon in a monster movie? Tremors.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I love it. The first one is a lot of fun. It's exciting, it's fun, and it's humorous a little bit.
Right. And Fred Ward's really good at it too.
Of course, yes.
And but the standout is Michael Gross, who's really is the recurring character. And I don't know, there's probably like 6 or 7 Tremors movies now.
Probably.
Yeah,
because they even went back in time in one of them.
Oh yeah.
And they took it to Antarctica.
Yeah, that was the last one, I think, because it's the last one I saw. Yep, those Tremors get everywhere. Those graboids.
The ass blasters are always my favorite.
Well, they would be.
I
Number 31 is 1961's Mothra, which I'm assuming is going to be in the Rodan character
Yeah.
thing for you. Yep. Yeah, I have not seen Mothra. I do like Mothra as a character, though.
Okay. I have no response to that because I haven't seen the movie.
Okay. Number 30 is the. Okay. I'll say two words, see if you can guess. Peter Jackson.
I'm going to go with Dead Alive.
Think mainstream Hollywood. Creature feature.
Oh, King Kong.
King Kong, yes.
I'm trying to remember which one he did. He did the one with. Did he do the one with Naomi Watts, or did he do?
Yep.
Okay, I hated it. I did not appreciate. I did not appreciate any of it. None of it. I liked the sequel, but I did not appreciate the original at all.
The sequel?
Well, I mean,
you mean Kong versus like the new Kong MonsterVerse one?
They eventually started bringing him in with Godzilla. I liked those films. I did not like this one at all.
So here's the major problem with King Kong for me. It is far, far, far too long. Like 30 minutes at least should have been cut from this movie because it's a slog to get through in certain parts.
Yeah, I can't disagree with it. Like I said, I hated every piece of it. I did not enjoy the movie at all.
I did like aspects of, especially like kind of the bug attack, like the giant bugs. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
Have you been on the Universal ride, King Kong?
Of course.
It's pretty good.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was one of the ones that every time I would go to that ride specifically.
It's funny because the first time we went on it, we were like, I didn't really enjoy it. Went on again, thought, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So in number 29 is 1984's Joe Dante classic.
You got me. Are you going to say Piranha?
1984. It's his most famous movie.
I got nothing.
Zach Galligan.
Gremlins.
Yes. Gremlins is great, although I actually prefer part 2.
You prefer what?
Part 2.
Oh, well, I mean, that for you, that's not uncommon.
Yeah, exactly.
I
love both of them.
Yeah, they're both great films. They're both great, fun family movies.
It's a funny story, right? So when my kids were younger, trying to indoctrinate them into some horror.
I still get surprised every time you tell me you had children because I just assume that you were not allowed to breed.
Well, only one's mine. The other one's a stepkid. So
okay.
Yeah. But what's funny is, right, they were much young, like very young, impressionable, still believed in the whole Christmas thing, right? It's Christmas, scary movie. It's like, Nightmare Before Christmas. So, hey kids, sit down and watch this. When it's not so much the Gremlins part, right? So, I left them to watch it, and they watched the whole thing.
Right.
And then I'm thinking afterwards, I'm like, oh shit, there's that part in where Phoebe Cates is saying why she doesn't believe in Santa.
Uh-huh.
Now she knows Santa's not real. Like, and again, this is the time they both still believe in Santa. I'm like, oops. I totally forgot about that part. Anyway, yes, Gremlins is a classic.
Yeah, they both are.
The next one is a really interesting one, which I've kind of scrolled past a couple of times. And it's just got an interesting concept to me, but I haven't hit the play button. 2016's Colossal.
I'm sorry, 2016's what?
Colossal.
Colossal. That's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Like
Yeah.
it's not all serious. It's designed to be fun in parts, and then it's really depressing in other parts.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like my cup of tea.
Yeah, I think you would really enjoy it if you got to watch it.
Yeah, I just like the concept.
Yeah, it's fun.
It sounds fun to me.
It is.
Okay, so the next one is a bona fide classic. It's 1954's giant ant movie, Them.
Never saw it.
So it's weird. So you like the classic, like the 30s, 40s movies, but whenever it hits the 50s, it seems
it's just that I have not had any exposure to them. It's not that I've actively avoided them, because there will be occasions I'll go look for some cheesy 50s and 60s monster or sci-fi movies, but I just didn't have much exposure to them.
Yeah. Well, check out Them. I mean, it really is very, very good, and this is very much the American fear of atomics and everything like that. So
my mother was much more into the classic, the Universal monsters,
right,
than she was into the sci-fi stuff. So that's what I got exposed to when I was little, and then it got into movies like Jaws and The Exorcist and that kind of stuff as I got older.
Right. So you maybe kind of skipped over like maybe 50s, 60s sort of stuff,
with the exception of like the Twilight Zone and that kind of stuff. We did do those.
Okay. Oh, this is this the best action movie ever made? Let me think.
Depends. Are we talking about Jaws?
Oh no, this is much more action than Jaws. This is 1987's, directed by John McTiernan. Do you know what it is?
No, I don't know directors' names.
You don't? Okay.
No, not generally.
Dylan, you son of a bitch. Do you know what that is?
No, it sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
The Chopper.
Oh, Predator.
Yes. It's almost like the perfect, especially quintessential 80s movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
Horror movie, action, sci-fi.
Yeah, I could see you saying that. It is very atypical, or it's very typical of its time, and it's all done very well.
Could you imagine? I don't know if you've seen like the pictures of Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was supposed to play the Predator.
I did not know he was supposed to play the Predator.
Yeah, but it's not like the Predator costume that they have in the actual movie.
It's because he's like 4 foot tall.
Well, no, it's a weird locust type thing.
Well, they kept the mandibles, I guess, kind of, didn't they?
You should look it up. It's pretty funny.
I will. I'll look it up.
Yes, I mean, Predator and Aliens, to me, kind of define what a great action movie is.
I agree.
In kind of the horror sci-fi world, obviously, there's...
I would lean much more towards the Alien side, because after the first Predator, I didn't see any other ones.
What?
Until well, okay, I can't say that because I did see the one with Danny Glover.
Yes, Predator 2, which is
right.
fine.
I did
also.
Meh. And then I didn't see anything after that until the Adrian Brody Predators.
Right. So the other ones were really the Aliens versus Predator movies.
Yeah, and I hated them. I tried to watch the first one, and it was garbage.
The first one is handicapped by being PG-13, and it's all right. Aliens vs. Predator, Requiem. Now, that movie has some balls. The only thing is, it's shot so darkly, you can't even see what the hell's going on most of the time.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Jim, now I think this is probably one of the scariest movies you've ever seen. I believe you told me it gives you nightmares. It is 2001, Monsters, Inc.
I will say that
I know it scarred you.
I will say I do love those movies.
I am not shocked. Yeah, let's skip past that. Okay,
Yeah.
another another from 1950.
So,
yep. Oh, you want to talk about Monsters Inc?
kind of, sort of, not really, but just so that the listeners are aware, I have a penchant for horror movies and animated films.
So your favorite genre is animated horror?
I do enjoy some animated horror.
What's your favorite animated horror movie, Jim?
Well, movie, I can't say I've seen any animated horror. There's a series called Castlevania on Netflix, which was very well done.
Mm-hmm.
There is an anime called Blue Exorcist, which is very well done.
You need to watch Yorasuki Doji, Legend of the Overfiend.
You'll have to text me that.
It's got like hentai, weird tentacle stuff going on. It's from like the 80s.
Okay, then maybe don't text me that.
No. Well, it's like manga stuff.
Yeah. Anyway,
so our next one is 1953's The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
haven't seen it.
Yeah. Again, another Ray Harryhausen. Okay. I guess this is a creature feature. Another Mexican movie for you, because it's Guillermo del Toro. Ron Perlman movie.
Hellboy.
It's Hellboy. What do you think of Hellboy?
Well, was it Hellboy or Golden Army? I can't remember.
Golden Army was the second one.
Right. I know, but I didn't realize. I don't remember Guillermo del Toro doing the first one. But so
Yeah,
I mean,
both of them.
I remember visually, the Golden Army was much more stunning than Hellboy, the first Hellboy. I enjoy Ron Perlman in pretty much anything he does. So the movie, while not a great movie, I thought it was enjoyable.
I think I thought it was very good. I really enjoyed it. Did you watch the reboot with David Harbour?
I couldn't get through it.
I watched it. It's just like.
I mean, I love David Harbour. I think he's a great actor. On Stranger Things and the few other small things I've seen him in, but I just couldn't get into the new Hellboy.
Yeah, and it's directed by a director I like, but I don't remember his name right now. He did Dog Soldiers.
Oh, I love Dog Soldiers.
Oh. So Hellboy, yeah, I like Hellboy. I think for me to say it's a creature feature, yeah.
I mean, they are creatures, so I mean, technically it does fit.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just scrolling down. So Neil Marshall is the person I believe that directed the new Hellboy reboot. Number 22 in the list is a 2003 Sean Pertwee vehicle, Dog Soldiers. Wow, how weird is that?
Right? That is a great film. Great. I know I'm late to the party because I've only seen it within the last 2 or 3 years, but that was a great film.
Yeah, I love everything about that movie. I'm surprised you could understand some of the banter in it.
Some of it, yeah, I could. I mean, I'm not as dumb as you look.
But I look pretty dumb. Okay, another Joe Dante movie. Sticking with the werewolf theme. It is 1981's what?
Howling.
Yep.
I gotta say, it's near perfect for me. That transformation scene at the end made me cry.
You're shedding a lot of tears on this podcast.
Well, I'm just saying, I have a heart. I used to have a heart.
Oh, okay. I see. Back in the day.
Which is, so my love for this film is one of the reasons I was so excited to meet Dee Wallace at the last Spooky Empire we went to.
And did you have her sign something, Jim?
I did.
And what was that?
It's a picture, but I don't remember the quote because I put it away with all my other collectibles.
What was the picture of? The Howling?
I don't remember.
I think you got like Cujo or something.
Oh, I did. I got Cujo. You're right. I got the movie poster or I got one of the pictures from Cujo.
Whereas I got The Howling.
Well, do you know why I got Cujo? Because
you like dogs?
Well, yes, but that's not the movie to like dogs. Because I also had a Saint Bernard as a child, so no, so for anybody that doesn't know, Dee Wallace was the movie mom in the 80s. She protected her children, she did what was right. She was just like the mom everybody wanted. And I loved her for that. So I was very excited to get her to sign a Cujo poster for me.
I'm not E.T.
No, because
she didn't protect her son from E.T. You're right.
Well, E.T. wasn't a threat.
Wasn't he?
No. He helped Ellie at.
The Howling.
Yes.
For me, like, I don't know if it was the age that I saw it or something. Something always feels very dirty and grimy about that movie.
That's what I thought you would enjoy about it, though, with your love of giallo movies.
What does giallo mean, Jim?
It means yellow. It's dirty, grimy, it's sexy.
Where does that come from?
It's an Italian word. I don't know.
Yeah, but why is it called yellow? That doesn't make any sense.
Dude, you don't ask me to explain it. You explain it. You're the one that brings it up all the time.
Jim, I meant to ask you about Cat 3 movies. Can you explain to our audience what a Cat 3 movie is?
No. What is a Cat 3 movie?
Okay.
Okay, folks, let's settle in for a little.
Welcome back to Jim's re-education of horror movies.
Yes, let's all settle in for Professor Mark's expounding on whatever he thinks is important. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you for saying I'm sagacious. So, Cat 3 movie is a classification movie rating in Hong Kong that's equivalent to the American X rating. And
why the fuck do you think I would know that?
Because I thought you knew about horror movies. That's why we started this podcast, Jim.
I know horror movies in the United States, not in Hong Kong.
I thought you said you loved foreign horror movies.
Those words never escaped my lips, sir. And I sure as hell didn't say I liked Hong Kong horror movies because you made me sit through that shit for Hasu. And it was garbage.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but Jim, you're not very well. That was a Japanese movie, and Japan and Hong Kong are not the same country.
No, they are not. But that's the closest I've ever come to watching a movie made in Hong Kong is watching a Japanese film.
Now, there's some absolute classics in the Cat 3 category, especially starring Anthony Wong, like the Ebola Syndrome or the Untold Story, or even some other sleaze fest like Red to Kill. Fantastic genre of movies. Even Ricky O. Right? You're a big fan of Ricky O, right?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, moving on. In number 20, we have a movie which I would have liked a lot better if I would have been the right age. Well, I would have been the right age at the time. But I didn't see it until a few years ago. And it's the Fred Dekker movie, The Monster Squad.
Fucking love that movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think I would have loved it if I had seen it when it was released.
Agreed.
Just watching it now, it's very much like Goonies, right? Goonies with Universal horror movie.
Yeah.
In it. And I really like Fred Dekker because, like, Night of the Creeps is fucking amazing.
It was a great movie.
Monster Squad. Do you want to say anything else about Monster Squad?
No, I mean, so it's one of those quintessential 80s movies that everybody just loves because it's kids being carefree and just being kids.
Right, it's the Goonies.
Yeah, essentially it's the Goonies with Universal monsters.
Right. Number 19, a more modern movie. A movie which I have mixed feelings about, but gets a lot of love. It's 2014's It Follows.
I hate that fucking movie.
Why do you hate it?
Because of the entire premise.
What, you mean the STD following them around?
Yes.
That's not.
There's
like,
there's one scene that I enjoyed in the movie.
The opening scene?
No, the scene where the girl's being chased on the beach.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I thought that was done really well, and that's it. Everything else is straight garbage.
I think, in my opinion, it's not as good as people say it is. Well,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that because people can like a movie as much as they want. I thought it was just okay.
It's garbage.
I think there's some interesting concepts there.
I disagree.
I mean, whether you take, like, a curse movie, like Ju-on or whatever, but you just kind of transport it to having sex with people, and that's what carries the curse on. Okay, that's interesting enough.
That's a disconnect for me. I think that's garbage. It's bullshit. It's
well, I mean that's you look at Rabid.
Never seen it.
David Cronenberg movie, and that's basically the same thing, but it's actually something in the blood that goes. I mean, you could say vampire movies are an STD movie, right?
No, they're more of a parasite movie.
Well, no, you get bitten.
Yeah,
right?
And you get infected with a parasite,
and then you pass it on.
Right. It's
like
that's an exact.
No. See,
that's almost an exact definition of a parasitic relationship.
No, a parasite just latches onto one person, whereas
and then it gets spread.
An STD, well, no, that's not a parasite. Then they're two different things. A flea is a parasite.
Okay.
But
so is it?
STD, you could go sleep with 100 people and spread it to 100 people. A flea's not going to jump to 100 people.
How do you know that?
But it's not that one flea, because the flea would have to multiply every time.
Well, no, it's not one flea. But anyway, we could argue semantics all night. Vampirism is not an STD, and using sex as the conduit for whatever was chasing these kids in It Follows is just an excuse to show kids having sex on film.
Do you think Bram Stoker, when he wrote Dracula, was doing it as a cautionary tale about STD back then?
No, I think he's a fetishist. Fetishist. Yes.
Okay. You might want to look that one up, Jim. Okay. Number 18 is another Mexican film by Guillermo del Toro. It's 2017's the movie I've not watched. The Creature from the Sexy Lagoon, a.k.a. The Shape of Water.
Never seen it.
Never seen it either. Next. Skip. Okay. We're getting this Hammer horror. Or is this Hammer? It must be.
Can you please hammer it over him?
1957's The Curse of Frankenstein by Terrence, directed by Terrence Fisher. This is with Christopher Lee and the other guy. Why is this name? Peter Cushing. There we go. No, I've not seen that one. Oh, okay. Here's an interesting one. Number 16 is 2016's Shin Godzilla.
Never saw it.
It's a very different Godzilla movie. It's very interesting. It's a lot,
and that's what I've heard. I just never took the opportunity to watch it.
Yeah, it's a really about government and how they deal with disasters and how they're not very good at it and how they don't listen to people. But yeah, it's a very different Godzilla movie. But Godzilla looks terrifying in it.
Yeah.
Okay, 2006. You would classify this as a foreign movie because it's in a foreign language, right? Another movie by Guillermo del Toro. I don't know why he's on this list so much, but it's 2006 Pan's Labyrinth. Now,
Loved it.
is this a foreign horror movie?
Yes. I don't know if I'd classify it as horror. I would probably go more fantasy.
It's a mixture.
Yeah, but I thought it was really well done. I thought it was a beautiful visually, it was beautiful. The story was engaging. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, it's a dark fairy tale, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's a good description.
Yep.
And look, it's another foreign film that I've seen.
So are all Guillermo del Toro's movies foreign, or is it just the ones with the foreign language?
I only classify foreign films as ones in different languages.
So if I made a movie starring American actors, set in America, America production, America funding, but I made them speak Spanish.
That's a foreign film. It's better than saying just because it has an ethnic director, it's a foreign film.
Oh, whoa! Ethnic? We don't.
Oh, here we go. Another word.
The woke thing again.
Oh no, we don't. But I'm just saying, just because there's a Spanish director or an Italian director, it doesn't make it an Italian film or a Spanish film.
No, not necessarily.
I'm just saying that's we classify those differently. That's all.
But just because the actors are speaking non-English doesn't make it a foreign movie either.
I disagree.
So again,
okay, let me put it this way.
If I had 3/4 of the cast talking in French and the other quarter were talking in English, but everybody's American and every single cent is from America and every single person that worked on it, wrote it, directed it were American, would you consider that a foreign movie?
I'm not getting into semantics. This is just getting ridiculous. So when you say foreign film, it usually means foreign language film.
No, I don't. Okay? So do you consider an English movie foreign?
No.
Do you consider a Canadian movie foreign?
No.
French Canadian movie foreign?
Yes.
So that it's in the same country, but one's a foreign movie and one's not.
Because I equate it to a foreign language film. That's what I consider a foreign film.
Whatever you want. I could say if the Foley artist is from a foreign country, I will deem this movie foreign.
Which is essentially exactly what you're doing when you say just because the director is from a different country, that it's a foreign film.
No. I don't say that. It's not just the director. It has to be the production company.
Oh, okay. Pardon me. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay to be wrong. Okay, number 14. This is kind of an odd one, kind of sort of like the Monsters Inc. a bit, I guess. But it's still, this one is a classic comedy. 1974, Mel Brooks, Young Frankenstein.
I wouldn't. I mean, okay, I get it, and I love it. I love the stage production. I do love it. I guess
yeah, it's just a weird one.
It has a creature in it, so technically, okay, I guess it belongs on the. But when I watch the movie, I don't think of it as a creature feature.
Yeah, neither do I. Okay, number 13 is the best werewolf movie ever made, which is.
I don't know. I don't watch werewolf films. American Werewolf in London.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, I know. Don't let Paul Cartmel hear me say that, right? Might get kicked out of the group.
Yes, this is an absolute classic, and it balances comedy and horror and tragedy really well.
It does, and so I was a lot younger when I first saw the movie, and I didn't get all the different nuances that I appreciate more now that I'm older.
Right.
So my fondness for this movie has grown over the years.
Yeah, it's an absolute classic.
I agreed.
Okay, speaking of classic, James Whale's 1931 original Frankenstein.
Of course, love it. I have it on DVD.
I have a box set of Universal Monster. They did a box set like a number of years ago. I have to dig it out.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I have like a 2-disc version of the original Dracula, and I'm not even sure what's on the second disc.
Hmm.
And then I have just the regular, like they came out with these special boxes for the Universal Monsters, and I bought as many of them as I could. Not a box set, but it's individual DVD cover art.
At 11, we have the James Cameron classic. What is it?
You're gonna say Aliens?
Avatar.
No.
Yep. I'm only kidding. It's Aliens.
I'll fucking kill you.
Are you looking forward to the new Avatar movie?
No.
What?
I didn't even really, with the exception of Sigourney Weaver, I didn't even really care for the first one.
The first one.
It was too goddamn long.
Yeah.
And it was just no fun for me.
Don't you worry. There's like another 10 of them coming out over the next 20 years.
Yeah, fuck you and your Avatar. Anyway,
Aliens. I mean, I don't know.
There's not much we can say. That the movie is the perfect sequel to the perfect sci-fi film.
Here's one thing that I hear a lot, and I kind of understand it, but I think people don't kind of see it sometimes. They say, well, Alien is kind of this slow burn. You don't see the alien for the first, 40 minutes, whereas Aliens is this like gung-ho action movie. It is and it isn't, because I think it's around the same time you see the real first Alien in Aliens. It's like 40 minutes into it, and there's just as much tension, or even more maybe, in Aliens than there is in the first one. And I get it. There's bang, military stuff going on. But, I think people sell it a bit short.
I don't disagree with that. I think that there is a lot more of, especially in the extended director's cut, where they go into her backstory with her daughter and how her daughter died while she was in hypersleep and all that kind of stuff. I think that there's a lot more dramatic tension because you have her trying to recover from the trauma from the first film.
Not even dramatic tension. There's actual tension. There's tension whenever they get down to the planet.
You haven't let me get that far. You haven't let me get that far in my explanation. But yes, I absolutely agree with that. But I'm saying it starts off with her personal dramatic tension with trying to recover from what happened in the first film, trying to defend herself, trying to come to grips with what happened to her daughter, and then you throw her back into the same situation. So then you have all that tension where she's expecting something to happen because she knows what these things are capable of. So I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Anyway, an absolute classic. Okay, so next one is another foreign movie, so I'm sure you've seen it. It's a 2006 classic by the Oscar winner, Bong Joon-ho. Do you want to tell the audience what movie we're talking about, Jim?
I have no freaking clue.
So he won Best Director at the Oscars for Parasite.
Oh, I've never seen it.
I thought you love foreign movies. I don't know where.
It's got nothing. I'm aware of the film. I've just never sat down and watched it.
So no, it is 2006. The Host.
Okay.
The Host is a lot of fun. The only thing.
I thought The Host was based on a Stephenie Meyer book.
There's probably multiple movies called The Host. Okay. This is a South Korean monster movie.
Yeah, that's okay. So no, this is not that. Okay.
Right. And it's a lot of fun. The only thing is they put some humor in it, but it's lost in translation, or it's a different societal humor, I think, and it doesn't really work some of that part. But,
okay.
Very good. Okay, number 9, the second one from Neil Marshall on this list, 2005, Spurlunken movie. Do you know what it is?
The Descent.
The Descent.
Fantastic film.
I don't think it's as good as Dog Soldiers.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. I don't put them on the same level, on if I'm being honest, because this one, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're both technically creature features, but this, I don't know. They feel like different films to me. Like one's a werewolf movie, and one is an actual. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Just to me, they're not in the same vein, and it's hard to compare the two.
Yeah, I mean, I think The Descent is another classic from Marshall, who's done a lot of great movies. And you know, I'm sorry for U.S. audiences who got that terrible ending.
I didn't think the ending was terrible. I mean, I've seen both because I have the movie on DVD.
The U.S. ending is a cop out. It's a Hollywood ending, whereas the first one.
Well, yes, I agree. I agree. It is a Hollywood ending.
Or the original. Yeah. Anyway, it's
the alternate ending that I saw. I mean, I get it. I understand why people would like it more, but I'm fine with the original ending that came out in U.S. theaters.
But if you think about the name of the movie, right? The ending makes more sense too.
Yeah, agreed. I agree.
Okay, number 8, Steven Spielberg.
Jaws.
No.
What?
I'll give you a clue. The main character actor was born in Northern Ireland.
Then it's going to be Jurassic Park.
It is Jurassic Park, which is a great movie.
I agree. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to talk about Jurassic Park too much because everybody knows Jurassic Park.
Did you see the latest Jurassic Park?
I have not yet.
Okay.
After the last couple, I've just become about it.
And it is very It's not.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard about it, so I've just not watched it.
That's why I was a bit disappointed because there was a lot of the original cast in the movie, and it was just very
Yeah. Oh well, going back into the kaiju area, the one that started it all, 1954's Gojira.
I don't think I've ever even seen the whole movie.
Oh, it's a classic.
I don't doubt that. I just it's never been high on my. For some reason, all of the Godzilla movies are like that. They're just not on my radar at all.
But I mean, and here's the thing about this: it's 1954. Imagine, we won't talk about the politics of it because it's messy. But as a nation, right, you've had 2 atomic bombs dropped on you 9 years before this. Mm-hmm. And you come out with Gojira, which is all about a monster, atomic energy and everything else.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's just kind of insane. I guess we kind of, saw. You can look at horror sometimes as a reflection on what's going on in society at the time.
Yeah, because different things scare people at different times. Makes sense.
And, there's a lot of, you can talk about post 9/11. You got a lot of, like Hostel and a lot of these ones where it's kind of the foreigner is a bad guy hurting the Americans and things like that. But Gojira is great. The the insane sort of American version where they put in Raymond Burr in different scenes and then kind of mesh it all together. It's kind of funny, but
so okay, there was the Millie Bobby Brown movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought did a really great job calling back to the original Godzilla movies, where it was just an American lost in a sea of other cultures that were trying to understand this monster.
Right.
I thought
That's not in the original, right?
no, but I mean, in the American version of Godzilla, you see that, but
Mm-hmm.
in the original movie, you don't see that. No, in the
Okay,
original,
it's all Japanese actors,
right? So you don't see any of that, but in the original American versions, you see that, and I think it harkened back to that a lot. So it really did a good job with the nostalgia.
What I loved about was it Adam Wingard that did Kong versus Godzilla.
I don't remember, but I loved that
It was
movie.
one of the Adams. Anyway, so what I loved about that movie is that it showed, yeah, Godzilla could just fucking destroy Kong at any point.
Yep.
Which is true because Kong climbs buildings and Godzilla steps on them.
Right.
Okay, another James Whale one, which is considered to be probably his best movie, 1935's Bride of Frankenstein.
Great film.
Do you know what color her hair was?
I do. Well, I mean, she's always pictured with black with a streak, but I honestly don't know.
I believe it was colored green.
Oh, okay.
I also you don't see that in the original version, but yeah. Again, fantastic movie.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay, now we come to 1986 is David Cronenberg classic,
The Fly.
You talk about like you watch a movie, right? And there's some things that are just so vile, just so disgusting to look at. You can barely look at the screen. I mean, have you seen the clothes they wear in this movie? Have you seen the sweaters that he wears? I mean, they are like a vomit-inducing. If you haven't noticed, go back and rewatch it. It's horrible. It's 80s Canadian fashion.
Yeah. Z Cavaricci's.
Right. But as we know, The Fly, and I think we talked about The Fly before, right? The remakes. The Fly is a classic. I don't think it's Cronenberg's best movie, but it's probably one of his more accessible ones as far as.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, I don't know if it's his best film or not because I'm not a big Cronenberg fan, so I can't even tell you if I've seen any of his other movies.
Cronenberg is one of those directors, and so even like Tarantino for me, that I love the movies, but I never really feel like rewatching them.
Yeah, I can see that, with the exception of The Fly, because I will rewatch that movie because the transformation of Jeff Goldblum into what they call the Brundle Fly was it. You can't pull yourself away from watching it. You just can't.
Things are dropping off, Jim. Then he puts them in jars.
Mm-hmm.
Even his pee-pee.
Yep.
And that's all we've got to say about that one.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, so I'm interested what the top three are. I've not scrolled down, so maybe we could try and guess them. Because number 4 is the 1975, the best year that was ever made, Steven Spielberg classic, Jaws.
Okay, that was a fantastic film.
Just fantastic.
That is,
four out of 10 for you?
That is a solid 9.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good then.
There is never a time where that will come on TV and I will not stop and watch it.
Like Monsters, Inc.
Nah, that one I'll skip sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else we can probably say about Jaws that we've already had our shark movies and
yeah,
whatever. So there's 3 ones that are considered better than Jaws as creature features. So I haven't looked. I'm going to say Alien might be there. What else do you think would be in the top 3 that we haven't talked about?
Well, of course, the Meg has to be there.
Oh yeah, the Jason Statham classic.
100%. That has to be there.
The Thing, maybe.
That could be considered a creature feature. So yeah, I would definitely put that up there.
Alien. So.
Alien. I don't know if Alien's going to be up there because
they have aliens on it. So
right. That's what I was going to say.
They're going to Alien would have been on it in the top 50, I would think. So
let's see what I'm trying to think of other creature features. We haven't heard Alligator yet, and that was a fantastic.
Oh, I love it, but that will not be in the top 3.
I don't know.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Jaws knockoff. Jaws, even though.
Well, in that case, The Last Shark has to be there.
Well, I mean, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
that's exactly. Actually the top 3. It's The Last Shark.
We also haven't seen. I'm surprised that.
Would Dracula be there if they have werewolves and?
I mean, I could.
Monster.
I don't think that falls into creature feature because I don't think it falls into creature feature, but I guess it could.
Well, if a werewolf is.
Yeah, but I mean, well, I guess it could because they do, in the old stuff they do turn into bats. So I could see Bela Lugosi's Dracula being on there. Yeah. I could even see 92's Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula being on there because he does turn into a wolf.
Right.
What else?
Okay. Well, let's just see. So number 3 is Alien.
Oh, okay. Well, good. There's one that we got.
So you love this movie, 7 out of 10, right? Across the board.
I'd probably give it an 8.
Okay. You're feeling generous tonight.
I am.
Again, there's probably not much to say about Alien, unless we dissect it one day if we ever something lazy.
Right.
Number 2. Oh, I guess this makes sense. 1933's King Kong.
That makes sense. Okay.
Okay, number 1. Oh, The Thing. Woo!
Oh, there you go. Good. So we got 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's not bad. I guess we should have thought about King Kong after.
Yeah, we probably should have.
Okay, that was the top 50 creature features from Paste Magazine.
And that's the lists that we did last time are from Paste Magazine also.
Oh, were they?
Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
So, Mark.
Yes.
I believe we both saw a movie recently.
I think we need to do a spoiler warning.
Yeah, I'm there. This is not a spoiler-free discussion, just so you're aware, and we will be talking about the movie. Mark?
Barbarian.
Correct. So this is your last chance. There will be spoilers.
Yeah, there will be spoilers, but I did not see Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie. I was very disappointed.
Well, it's not Conan.
Oh. No, not Conan O'Brien. Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, no, it was not Conan. No Conan's in this movie.
Okay, spoiler. Do you know why it's called Barbarian?
I don't.
So I don't know if this is true or not because it was in IMDb trivia, which anybody can just write whatever the fuck they think at that second. They said that they think it's called Barbarian because it's a mixture of Airbnb, and I guess it was on Barnaby Street, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So they kind of mixed Airbnb, Barnaby and Airbnb, and it's Barbarian.
That's a stretch to make something make sense.
But it makes just as much sense as why it's called Barbarian because there's no good reason to call it Barbarian.
Unless you take the actions of the main villain from the movie. He was a barbarian. He tortured women and killed them and videotaped it and kept them locked in one room. That's pretty barbaric.
I think it was that could be true, but I almost want to think that it was something like the Airbnb stuff, that because the title, kind of like the movie, throws you off.
The whole movie's just off.
So I will say something which will probably, and again, this is more IMDb trivia, but this makes more sense to me. Is that apparently the writer-director wrote a short story or did a short movie that's basically the first half of the movie, or the first act of the movie, because he wanted to write something about how a woman, he'd been to a class where he saw something about how some women miss obvious signs that they should be getting the fuck out of, an area because a guy's obviously, a creep or whatever. So he decided to write like a short story about it, and then just made the rest up as he went along.
So, okay, the first part of this movie, up until the basement becomes involved,
right,
is very well done.
Right. And that's what I mean. So you can almost see that was thought about and written as its own thing.
Yep.
And then the twist came, and it's like, oh, well, let's just see. It almost felt like it was written on the spot.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're doing this now?
Right. And what would the character do now in this position?
No. So
why don't we talk about the premise?
Okay, so the whole premise is, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the characters' names.
Woman and man.
Right, we'll do woman and man.
So and the other woman.
And the woman. So the female lead rents a house I think they're in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And she pulls up to the house to go in and finds that the key's gone. It's not in the lockbox where it's supposed to be.
Well,
and somebody is already inside the house.
Hang on. She pulls up at night, so she doesn't see the neighborhood, right?
Right, that's true too. Yes. So the guy answers the door, invites her in, lets her spend the night, tries to get her to drink tea several times, and then tries to get her to drink glasses of wine, which she then decides to do and starts like being romantically interested in this creep that she's just spending the night with, because
but he's not a creep.
They make every effort to make him creepy.
Exactly. They set it up to make him look suspicious.
Yes.
But if you think about it, everything that he did was innocent. He was just
it was just right. The entire situation was just awkward, and that's all that's all that was at the whole crux of what happened. Or how he was behaving. It was just awkward.
Well, yeah, but that's also because she was suspicious or paranoid. But he went to great lengths to show, hey, here's a bottle of wine. I haven't opened it because I don't want you to think that I'm putting anything in your drink.
Right.
And he's like, if you can watch me make you a cup of tea if you want. So he was very he didn't take offense with that. He just kind of rolled with it and said, okay, I understand. This is a strange neighborhood. You don't know me, and I'm going to try and put you at ease.
I mean, agreed. I 100% agree that he was set up to look suspicious, and I agree that he did. But I also do understand, as the movie progresses, you understand he's really just a really nice guy, and it's just a really awkward situation. He's trying to make the best of it.
Right.
So
yeah. It is set up like even the trailers, right?
Yeah.
And the whole thing is okay. So he's kind of creepy because we're setting him up like he is because it's Bill Skarsgård, and he's a bit creepy to begin with. So we're going to make this kind of awkward, but I was just waiting for something to drop.
Right.
And I thought it's not going to be him, because I thought,
and it's not, because when the twist comes in and they introduce everything, he gets his head bashed in first thing in the movie.
Right. And who comes in then? in a very jarring way.
Justin Long.
Justin Long.
So I will say this about that. They make him into a giant dick, and it does not work.
Well, hang
Justin
on.
Long. Justin Long is generally in almost everything he does awkward and kind of lovable, like the nerd that you're kind of rooting for. But in this, he is an accused rapist.
Well, he is a rapist.
He never admits to it.
Yeah, he does.
He does after he gets drunk. I'm just saying he never, in his lucid moments, he never says he raped her. He says he pressured her.
No, he raped her.
I don't disagree with you, but what he says, what he admits to in the film, is that he pressured her and that she started to like it. He never admits to raping her.
But we both agree he raped her, right?
I agree. Yes, we do. We 100% agree.
So what he says is kind of immaterial, whichever way he tries to justify it.
Right, I agree. But that's what I'm saying. This is the whole. They're trying to build him into this creep.
Right, and I thought he did a good job of that.
I just don't like him in that role. It's nothing to do. It's nothing to do with the writing or the acting or any of that. It's just, to me, Justin Long is always the lovable geek, the underdog that you're rooting for. He's not that guy.
No, I actually bought it. Well, I mean, again, can you disassociate an actor with kind of the persona?
And that's where
roles, whatever.
And that's where it falters for me. I can't. Yeah, with Justin Long, I can't.
I can with him.
Yeah.
There's actors, maybe not, but I was fine with him being a sleaze. And I guess this was they originally wanted Zac Efron in this role, but
I would have believed him. I would have believed him in that role.
But I mean, that's it. Like if it was a no-name actor, you would have believed him, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's just that it's Justin Long, and to me, he will always be the lovable underdog, the guy that you root for in every instance when he's on screen. Like in Tusk, fantastic movie, and you root for him through the whole movie, even though you know he's not a perfect human being. But like, you don't have that here, and they just make him this giant sleaze, and I did not believe it or like it.
Okay, fair enough. I had no problem. So I guess not a problem, but I thought it was an interesting tonal shift, right? So we have the first act, then we have the giant naked woman, and we have Bill Skarsgård losing his head, basically.
Right.
And then a very quick cut.
And it's jarring. It's unsettling because you almost feel like you're not in the same movie.
Right. And so this is where I think, it very much, there's a lot of plot holes in this movie. A lot.
So many.
And this is where it kind of feels like we just stitched the second act together. Like, why was the rental company lying to him and da 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 da? I mean, it makes no sense. Like, why would she rent this Airbnb? Because when people have stayed there before and said, "Hey, this is a really shitty area. Don't ever come here."
Right.
Right. But then it just feels like kind of gung ho. I was talking to my wife about it, and I was saying, "Did you like the movie?" And she's like, "No, I hated it." But she liked Bill Skarsgård at the start. She asked me, and I'm like, I don't really know. I'm still trying to process it because it's got because it's like two different movies.
Yeah.
And individually, I would really like both those movies, right? You got that kind of tense, is he a creep? Is he not? Is he a murderer? Is he not? And then you've got the second half, which is a schlocky B movie. It's like Castle Freak for the generation, right? And individually, those two things would work for me. And I still think, do they work together? I don't really think so, but I did like that it just went left field halfway through. So, like, it's hard for me to rate this movie. I'm like, I don't know.
There are parts that are really well done. Like the whole scene where he shows up at his Airbnb because, spoiler, Justin Long his character owns the house that the first two people rented, right? So he finds the extra space, the door in the basement, and he doesn't think anything of it. He just starts measuring so that he can increase his square footage.
Right.
That's number one, not believable. It's contrived, and it's only there to get him into that maze underneath the house.
Yeah. Yeah, and probably more, like if we talk it through for another 20 minutes, I'll probably end up hating it.
Yeah.
But liking the first part still.
No, the first, like I said, the first part's really well done, really well acted. I think it was so fantastic. I don't understand, and that tonal shift just really, really bothered me.
It is, and like I said, I kind of like that for movies. I just don't know if it worked for this one,
Right.
because and I was thinking, I'm like talking about with my wife about it, and you could almost look at this, like, think about it like this, like, so the woman's super paranoid at the start, and she doesn't trust this guy.
Right.
It turns out this guy was super nice, super helpful, whatever. He was even trying to save her at the end.
Right.
But she distrusted him all the way through. If you look
Right.
if you look at the second half, we have a rapist who she repeatedly goes. Now she doesn't know he's a rapist, but
Right.
as an audience, we know. She continues to go back to him.
Right.
And I don't know if they're trying to do something thematically there, like there's a good guy there, but you don't trust him, but this other guy who's a sleaze will fucking hurt you and try to kill you, but you'll
Okay,
try to save
so
him.
I mean, that is every man's complaint about every woman that's ever dumped him. Oh, I'm the good guy, but you don't want to be with me.
I wouldn't say every guy, but I think
Well, you
certainly
understand what I mean.
that happens. Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, it's very prevalent in dating society. And
Yeah,
whether you're gay or straight, it doesn't matter. You hear that all the time. So the theme, okay, yeah, I get it. It's real life, but it doesn't fit together in this film.
I don't know if it's intentional. Sometimes you hear people or read stuff where they overthink a movie, and then you'll have a director or writer who like is told about it, and they're like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" They're like, "I never meant any of that," and maybe I'm doing that, but it just seemed to me as an audience member thinking about it, it's almost like, yeah. Because they didn't have to make Justin Long a creepy rapist, right? They could have just had him. Oh, you didn't get the job. You need more money, so you're going to have to go sell your assets. So it seems like it was purposely done to make him the bad guy, and one of these guys who is so full of themselves that they think that they're great.
Yeah.
And then they're like confused about, well, what are you talking about? I'm being nice to you, but really they're like a narcissistic asshole.
Right.
But I don't know if that's something to do with it. Like, I'm just trying to think it through, but maybe.
So let's think about this, right? So when Justin Long is introduced into the story, and the female lead from the first part of the story, we find out she's been kept alive because she's pretending to be this woman's baby that's living underground.
Wow.
So he falls into the same cage. He refuses to do it, and she's trying to explain to him how to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be her baby. That's all she wants from you. And he's not having it. He won't do it. She gets out. Like Justin Long gets taken so that she can emulate the breastfeeding tape she's been watching for 40, 50 years, however long she's been underground.
Yeah.
And our female lead character gets out. She goes to get help, and the homeless guy who chased her into the house at some point in the beginning of the movie um, grabs her and pulls her out before she can be captured again.
Yeah.
It turns out he's a good guy. He was trying to help her and warn her about the lady in the basement.
Which makes you think, I mean, do you really think that that's the best way to approach somebody?
No.
Like running full like pelt at them and
But what do you do? What do you do at that point? I mean, you can't
just walk up and say, "Hey, can I talk to you for a sec?" Or do anything other than doing that, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's probably true. There are better ways to approach it, but that's neither here nor there. So she gets out, and then she says she has to go back because the cops won't listen to her because she looks like crap. You know, they're expecting her because of the neighborhood to be a drug fiend that's trying to squat in a house and, you know, whatever. And she goes back in for Justin Long.
Yep.
Who proceeds to shoot her.
Yeah.
By accident. He gets a hold of a gun and accidentally shoots her because he doesn't know who she is. So then he does what any normal human being would do and gets her up and gets them out of the basement.
Yeah.
They go and they find what they think is a safe place to stay because the homeless guy told him she never comes over here. And what happens, Mark?
Well, she obviously turns up.
Yes.
Which leads to another question. Like, if she's just easy access to get out of the house any time, why didn't you just grab them earlier?
She only comes out at night. He explained that.
Right, but they were there at night.
Oh, yeah, I don't have an answer for that.
None of that made any sense.
Right. And then they get chased up the water tower.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens?
Well, slimy Justin Long decides to throw over the edge. So that the weird mother creature. In fact, let's just talk about that for 1 second, too. Okay, so it's explained by the homeless guy that this creature was a product of inbreeding after inbreeding after inbreeding.
Right.
So is the guy the serial killer rapist guy? What is he, like 500 years old?
Well, no, but he was in his 40s in the 80s when all of this started. So
he would have had a baby that he would have raped somebody that had a baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many generations do you think it is?
It could at most been 3 or 4, depending on how often he killed them.
I don't think that's what happens in nature. Look at the royal family. That happens all the time. You don't see that. All right.
Too soon, Mark. Too soon. We're still in mourning, sir.
Oh, that's true. That is true. So she falls off the ledge.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's also talk about that. This inbred woman.
Mm-hmm.
Her only deformity is nasty teeth and stringy hair.
And long nails.
And she's freakishly strong.
She's really tall and strong, right?
Yeah, she's freakishly strong and has pendulous breasts. I mean,
and can survive a lot of things.
Yeah. Being run over by a car, being hit by a car and pinned to a house. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she has adamantium in her bones. Maybe that's the mutation she got.
That wasn't a mutation. that was put into Wolverine.
I know. It was a joke, sir. You don't have to dissect everything. Sometimes you can just laugh.
Are we going to go into comic book lore?
No, we're not. I would lose that battle.
But yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's it. And then, so this part I didn't understand, but somehow our lead female character winds up on top of the other thing, the monstrosity that was under the house, and she gets up, and Justin Long is like, "Okay, you survived. Let's get up." And
right, so the creature dived after her and managed to get underneath her to block her fall.
Yeah, right. And that didn't make any sense whatsoever. There's no way that's going to happen, but that's neither here nor there. But then she returns the favor to Justin Long. When the creature gets up, she shoves Justin Long at him.
Right.
And the creature takes care of him, and she gets Justin Long's gun. She pretends that she can't get up.
So,
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. I take it back.
Well,
Justin Long comes to check on her,
but
the creature gets up.
right, but Justin Long also does the thing, right? And again, I think it's specifically written for this sort of character, where he's trying to justify what he was doing. He's like, I'm not a bad guy. It's just, it's just, there was no other choice, right? I mean, it's kind of, like this sort of rate. Well, you were leading me on, or, you said no a couple of times, but, then you're into it. So it's okay. Right?
Yeah. So Justin Long gets killed, and she pretends she can't get up. Like she's severely injured from jumping off of the water tower.
Right.
But instead, what she's actually doing is grabbing the gun that Justin Long dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And then she shoots and kills her.
Mm-hmm.
End of story.
Mm-hmm. I am actually shocked this got a theater release.
I'm shocked that it got past the storyboard.
Yeah.
This movie, this entire movie was meh.
No,
it was just meh.
I can see this getting made and being dropped on Netflix or somewhere like that. And again, it may be because they knew. Okay, so I'm putting my marketing hat on, right? Because they did this teaser trailer, which again I think got a lot of people in. And then they had this name Barbarian, which doesn't apply really to the trailer or the story, really, in my opinion. And I think they were like, okay, we can pique people's interest, and we can, use that to get people into the movie theater. What I'm kind of surprised about is it's got pretty high ratings, which
I don't understand. I don't understand it. I thought the movie was entirely forgettable, with the exception of that first 40 minutes or so. The first act is really well written, and it's very tense and awkward, but it goes so far into left field. It does that 90-degree turn with Justin Long showing up, and I'm just like, I can't recover from this. This is not nothing now feels natural. It all feels forced.
Right. It feels like a different movie stuck in, like, glued onto it.
Yeah, exactly. So I cannot give this a solid rating because I really did not enjoy the experience at all.
I was telling my wife I might need to watch it again, knowing what's going to happen, and seeing if that makes me like it or hate it more.
I'll never watch it again.
If it's on streaming and I've got nothing else to watch, I might put it on.
Yeah, I'd rather listen to my audiobook.
No, of course you would.
So, speaking of audiobooks, I have a new audiobook.
Oh, yeah?
I am listening. So, do you remember when I told you about Lost Gods by Brahm?
Yeah.
I picked up another one of his audiobooks called Krampus, the Yule Lord.
Krampus?
Yeah. So, this book is just as good as the other. It's well written. The story is solid. And what you are hearing is Krampus has been imprisoned by Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But it's not really Santa Claus. Santa Claus was a saint that died 1,000 years prior to this story. And he had somebody, the old god Balder is impersonating him and using black magic to woo the public into forgetting about Yule. So this is Krampus's fight to get his holiday back. It's really, really well done. It's a fun story.
Does the baby Jesus appear at any point?
He does not. There is a scene. Yeah. Well, there actually it gets worse because there is actually a scene in the book where Krampus goes into this couple's house and makes them take all of the Christian iconography off the tree.
Well, you know, it's a sin if you read your Bible to have a pagan tree in your house.
Yes, I know.
But all those
But
sins put them
I
on
found it funny.
Christmas.
But they do throw in some human aspects too. Like there's a guy that's down on his luck that finds Santa's bag, and then he's trying to protect his daughter and his ex-wife, and there is all that story. But the fun happens with Krampus. He's it's so well written. I cannot recommend this book enough.
Have you watched Krampus?
I have.
Did you
I
like it?
thought that was a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a great movie, but it's a lot of fun.
I think it's a great genre Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't remember who I was talking to. There's actually, if you think about it, there's more horror movies based around Christmas than there is around Halloween.
That is true. There are very few, other than with the exception of Halloween and Trick or Treat, that are actually based around Halloween.
There's probably like a dozen
Right.
Halloween-based movies, but there's probably 100 Christmas. horror.
You have 4 just in the Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Five.
Oh, they're 5, right? 5 in that franchise alone. And then you have the 3 Black Christmas movies, so there's 8. You have what else do we got? Oh, Ready or Not.
Christmas Evil.
Right, Christmas Evil. There's Ready or Not.
Satan's sleigh or Santa's sleigh.
Santa's
Bill Goldberg, which is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't care for it at all.
Oh, it's fun. Oh, I love that movie.
I've only seen it once, and while I could see the charming parts of it and the kitschy stuff, I just couldn't really get into it. And I do love Bill Goldberg.
Yeah, but you could probably list off another dozen.
Yeah, I'm sure we could if we sat down and thought about it.
Well, like Halloween, there's not an awful lot.
Yeah, you have the Halloween franchise and Trick or Treat. If you count Donnie Darko as a horror movie, it sort of takes place around Halloween.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean,
yeah,
there was actually a trilogy where they did horror movies based off of the not like St. Patrick's Day and the lesser celebrated holidays. I can't remember the name of it, but it was freaking great. It was a bunch of short films.
Did that one have like a Easter, like a scary Easter bunny?
It did.
Yeah, it's I don't remember the name of it, but that Easter bunny part was the best part of it.
I personally like the one where the lady gave birth to the snake in the bathtub.
Well, you would.
No, I hate snakes. Absolutely.
Why,
But it was just so entertaining to watch. I don't know why.
Why do you hate our slithery friends?
I don't know. I have this thing about things with no feet and no arms. It bothers me.
You don't like amputees then?
Do amputees slither?
Well, it depends how much oil you put on. Apologies to the amputee.
Oh God, that's awful. No, but so it's more about the way they feel when they move, and it's just that one giant muscle contracting and twisting. Oh my God, it gives me this. It skeeves me out so bad. I even now.
Have you seen that? The snake from like the dinosaur era, the Tintaboa or something it's called.
Titan boa.
Yeah, which was massive.
Yeah. So there was this movie on Cinemax a very, very long time ago where they were these. It's like Bikini Beach Babe Commandos or something stupid like that, but they were transporting a radioactive snake, and in one scene it bursts out of the toilet, and I could not sit down on a toilet for a week.
You might not want to move to Australia then. I think.
God, no. Are you kidding me? No. New Zealand has no indigenous snakes. I might want to visit there.
Do you know what's funny is my wife has got a similar phobia of snakes, and going back to movies, which she doesn't like, or parts of movies, she doesn't like the Clash of the Titans with Medusa, the original 1980, and she doesn't like the scene in Poltergeist 2 after he drinks the tequila worm,
where he's thrown up. Yeah.
and then after he throws up, and it's like Kane's like his amputee.
Yeah. Where he
Just on the
winks at
ground.
you. Yeah. There's also funny story is one of the creature features that I do enjoy, which is going to sound awful, is Anaconda with Jennifer Lopez and Eric Stoltz.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a fun movie.
Yeah, it's all right.
But
to me, it's very sci-fi.
It is. It's very Sci-Fi Channel. But
they've just got expensive actors in it.
Yeah, I just thought it was fun. I mean, and the part where the snake regurgitates John Voight and he winks, I was, oh my God, it was great.
Well, it is not what you would do.
Of course. Who wouldn't? You have to get your shots in where you can, sir.
Have you watched anything else this week?
No, I have not really.
So
Ray did start watching The Vampire Academy. It's a typical YA vampire thing where they just throw around the F word on Netflix. It has no interest for me.
Does he not want to watch adult entertainment?
There is the new Netflix series Dahmer. He's watched a few episodes, but
right.
I came in here to record, so I haven't seen any of it yet.
Evan Peters, yeah, we're gonna watch that.
Yeah.
I'm up to date with House of Dragons.
I'm sorry for you.
Why?
I'm kidding. I haven't even started.
I mean, again, I talk about it every week. I mean, it's pretty good. Can't really say much more about it right now. There's lots of political intrigue and backstabbing and that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
So it's like high school all over again.
Right, high school, but with dragons and swords. Although, I guess if you're into like Dungeons and Dragons,
yeah, I was just most people that I know played Dungeons and Dragons in high school. They would love it.
Right. The other thing that I watched, we talked about the first one in our list. For whatever reason, because I couldn't find something to watch, and it was just like as I was scrolling, I'm just like, okay, I'll put it on. I watched A Quiet Place 2.
Okay.
And it's got the same issues from the first one. Although I do like Cillian Murphy. So
he's such a fucking creep though in that movie, but he's good at it. Like he's good at playing a creep. I enjoy not liking that man.
Well, he's got that kind of face.
Yeah, he does. I 100% agree. Like I did not enjoy him being in 28 Days Later. Or was he in the second one?
No, he was in the first one.
Okay, yeah. See, because I don't, and I hate to say it, but it is all based on his looks. I don't want to feel empathy for him.
Right, so you don't like his face.
Yeah, I want him to be the villain, and I want to root for him to not survive.
So, just so our audience is clear, you would like Cillian Murphy dead?
No.
Yeah.
I would like his characters to die. I would like his characters to die.
Quiet Place 2, again, it's got the same issue. Well, in fact, it probably had more issues because, like, the second one, like, so can they see? Okay, it seemed like in scenes the monsters can see things. So why is it just like sound?
Right, because in the first movie they explained that they used echolocation.
Right, but in the second one, like they go into the bar, like at the start, and they're obviously targeting people through sight, not sound. I'm like, so can they see? Are they just short-sighted or something? I don't know.
Maybe just a pair of corrective glasses will chill them the fuck out.
But don't they themselves make noises and when they attack each other?
Well, yes, but I mean, if you hunt through sound waves, you would be able to filter out your own species.
But echolocation is not sound. It's not like you can use echolocation to pick up a sound. You use echolocation to pick up a body. So you would have to make that sound.
Right, and based on the length of time and all that stuff, right? We all get it. It is based on sound. It's based on the reverberation of sound. But I mean, given that that's how you survive, I imagine you're going to become pretty good at it.
See, but I would just think, okay, just sneak your way into some fireworks store, just buy a whole bunch of like firecrackers, and then anytime they come near you, just throw some firecrackers the other direction, and they're just going to go after them. That's easy.
But then you have no purpose for having a deaf daughter.
So just put her down.
What did you say?
Just put her
Did
down.
you suggest that they put her down?
Well, you just said then you got no purpose for a deaf daughter.
Well, no, the whole purpose of the deaf daughter in the movie is to use her hearing aid
I know.
to blow up their heads.
I know. And like you could just like you don't even need that. You could just plug a guitar in and just use feedback. It would be much more effective.
It would be if anybody had an electric guitar.
Well, they have stores, don't they? They have a bunch of stores. They got amps from somewhere, right?
They broke into a radio station.
Oh, I was only half paying attention. So that is all that I have watched.
Okay, well that's fair. What is there anything coming up that you're excited about?
Well, we'll see how this Hellraiser movie turns out. There's that Smile movie coming out, which I don't know. I guess we'll see.
That's another one. It's either going to be really, really good and awkward, like uncomfortable, or it's going to be just stupid.
I was talking. I might have mentioned. Yeah, I think we talked about this before. It feels very like a J horror remake or something.
Yeah.
Anything. I'm getting less and less interested in that Olivia Wilde movie with Chris.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like another Stepford remake.
Yeah, again, unless something comes out when they say, "Wow, this is like super crazy" or something. But
yeah, it seems like it's going to be, another Stepford remake. So I don't know if I'll take part.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the Dahmer show. Still have to get back into Miss Marvel. Finish that. Start She-Hulk. Wow.
She-Hulk was fun, but had Tatiana Maslany not been the She-Hulk, that it would not have survived.
Yeah, I don't know who she is.
She was in a sci-fi show called Orphan Black.
Never seen it.
So the show centered around clones. It was about a bunch of clones that had no idea who each other was, but they're all clones of the same person, and they wind up coming together to take down the organization that created them. It's very sci-fi-esque, but she played every single clone.
Well, you would have to.
She did it so freaking well.
Yeah, never seen it.
You did definitely something worth looking up. I would probably stop it though at season 3.
Yeah, I'm not going to start it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair. But
yeah.
From that show, which I loved, I forgot how likable the actress was, and she is. She really carries this whole show. She carries She-Hulk on her back like a beast.
Wow, she must be pretty strong then.
Yeah, she's a She-Hulk.
Well, she carries She-Hulk on her back, so she must be stronger than She-Hulk.
She is She-Hulk. There is no being stronger than her. They make a point of watching her kick the shit out of the Hulk in the beginning.
Whoa, spoilers.
It's the first episode.
Well, that's still spoilers.
It's like 10 minutes before she becomes She-Hulk. There's no spoilers. I didn't give away any of the rest of this show.
Yeah, spoiler. Anyway, I guess we reached out on Facebook or whatever to see what people want to hear, right? So we're just doing these off the cuff episodes, mainly because we're lazy. But if it's the sort of thing which people enjoy or would like more of, we would like feedback. Right?
We actually did get a message from one person that listens that said our last episode, Off the Cuff 2, was a 10 out of 10.
So in your book, that was a 3 out of 10.
Well, pretty much because I just wound up getting attacked through the whole episode for misusing one word.
We won't get into the woke stuff again.
Yeah. No, we won't.
We won't.
It did make for good podcast though.
Right. And on next week's episode, I will have Jim say another word that he likes, and I will just berate him for it for like 40 minutes.
Yeah. In other words, I will do what I always do and just trigger Mark.
Oh, I'm not triggered. Well, so what is whoa. What does triggering mean to you?
Here we go.
Because I don't think it means what you think it means.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Okay. Was there anything else, or should we?
No, I'm good. I'm good for right now. I don't have anything else to talk about.
Alrighty. Well, we will see you on the next one, everyone.